I'm excited. They say you only have to do a year or two to get experience, so my wife she'd probably enjoy the break anyway. What's crazy, Facebook. We seen this training on Facebook that Aiken Tech was offering this training to get you CDL. And I believe it's almost $5,000. It's like, or maybe $4,500. And Aiken Tech, they're partnered through Anchor, so long as they have funding. Well, I've been trying to find out when I was going to start. I was supposed to start October the 16th. And I've been working on this since early September. And they said I went for my physical, my DOT physical, I got that. Then you got to go through all these different people who are doing it, like Sterilite and some other program. And you got to have passwords. And they gave me the study, and I watched a guy on YouTube, and he gave me that app called CDL Prep. And you can watch some, I think it's on this other video. I'm trying to put these in a playlist called Trucking or something. So this will go in that playlist. But all these questions, and to me, I'll be distracted. So for me, just to write the questions down, put answers, read them, get them in my head. And I have to keep doing that so I can drown everything else out. And it's kind of good to reference, especially this hazmat stuff. There's a lot to it, but there's other things you got to do that I'm learning. I don't think you can just take the regular test. You got to do some kind of training with it. And they told me now when you get your CDL, you got to do some kind of training. When I talked to Aiken Tech today, but I've been trying to find out, it says I registered, supposed to start the 16th, and then they told me I'm not in there. And the next class starts November, but they only do 8 students at a time. And I'm number 330. And I said, well, by the time I get in class, it's going to be 5 years from now. I said, what am I supposed to do? Wait 5 years? Because they have a class, I think they do it Monday through Friday, like 7 to 5, something like that. And it's like 5 or 6 weeks. Now, this is at Aiken Tech. Then they have a night class that lasts a little bit longer, and it goes from like 5 to 9. And it might last 9 weeks. So I figured in 3 months, at eight people a class, they're only going to do maybe 24 people. So it's going to take a long time to get to 330. Now, where I used to work at, it's a little ways. It's about 40-something miles. So it'd probably take me close to an hour to get there. But if I do the day class, this is at Piedmont Tech. And they're also doing the training, but it's a little bit different. Them, you have to take work keys or pass a certain thing, or you have to supply that you have a degree. So finally, my degree's paying off. I don't have to take work keys. I took work keys, but I think it's been over 5 years. So you have to retake it or supply your degree. So my little degree will pay off with them. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff you got to submit. I hadn't read the thing yet. I just talked to her today. And she told me she might be able to get me into class November the 20th. So why does Greenwood not have anybody going to school, but Aiken's got 320? Go figure. I guess everybody in Greenwood's got a job. Or they don't want to go into trucking. Who knows? But I'm going to try it. And plus, what's so cool about it, their program is 6 weeks of training. You still get your CDL license. But for 2 days, if you go during the day, you'll go 2 days a week, and it alternates. And it's 6 weeks. So for 2 weeks, you go to first day of class, they give you what she told me, if I understood correctly. They'll give you a password, and you got to do all these little computer modules. So you do all these little computer modules for 2 weeks, and you pass that. Then you come to actual class, and you start driving. So, I mean, it's like, pretty fast and intense. So, they stuff it down your throat for 2 days, and you got to recollect on it till you go again. And so you're only going to be going up there 8 times, maybe 9, I guess, because you go to once at the first 2 weeks, and then you do everything on the computer. Then you go twice a week for 4 weeks. So even though it's an hour, it did take me 30 minutes to get to the other one. So that'd be, an hour a day, and this only be like 2 hours for 2 days. So 4 hours, I'd be going 1 less hour in 2 days than I would for 5 days. But I'd be getting in there a lot quicker than 330. I don't know how many people in their test, but there was a guy I used to work with, and he did it. So it's more established. They streamlined how they want to do things. And who knows, it might open opportunities up there. Hopefully I can get something at least close, make me some money. So everybody's going through all this, man. Good luck. You got any suggestions for me or anybody that might come along in the video? Let them know what you did to be successful. If it's worth, been reading all this stuff about getting your, I guess you need to drive and get used to driving first, about getting your authority. But I'm studying like I did for my permit, and they told me you can't go take these other classes. They told me one time I would have to take the permit if I want to take hazmat, tankers, and combination vehicles. I believe is what it's called, maybe not, or double vehicles, that I'd have to take it all again. But the lady told me you can't put that on a permit. You got to wait till you get your license. And then some of them said if you take it and you do it within 6 months, then they'll give you credit for it, but then you got to repass it. It's weird. So it's better to get my license, just study for it. And she said when you get your license, you can take it then. So you get your license, and then all of a sudden get and it's letters, I think like hazmat's an X or something. I can't remember. I'm learning, so forgive me. But yeah, it's kind of exciting, man. So if I get all my paperwork in and I get registered, she'll give me a start date. So it's instead of November the 13th, if I'd have got in that class, it'll be November the 20th, because they were going to go later, but they moved it up for the day class. So it's there's always a way, and I don't know, free training, can't beat it. So maybe I can get me a job and drive, be safe, and take care of my health, because they say the average life expectancy of a truck driver is 61. So that's not too good. You ain't even gonna make it till Social Security benefits. So you got to have a plan, because something could happen. So if you start working, we're gonna stash the cash as long as I can, and I got to do some work, and even I'll make some videos about that hopefully. But my son-in-law and daughter want to come over here. I got 5 acres, so I'm gonna make a 25-foot driveway on the edge of the property, and then we're going to figure out how to space their trailer and my son's trailer that we're going to get. And if we get a used one, even $5,000-$10,000, you still got to put a septic in, which is another $6,000. And then even doing it cheap, everything costs money. So I'll be making videos about that maybe, and then I can connect them to my well. So that'll save. If a well costs $12,000, that should save $10,000, because I think it'd cost $2,000 to connect it if I can't figure out how to connect the pipe. But I don't want to bust the well and then lose all my water and run my well dry and have to get a new pump. So we'll see what's going on. But yeah, this will be something totally different that I've tried. So anybody that's doing it, wish me luck. I'm excited. One guy commented earlier, and thank you for the encouragement. He said, only you can stop yourself. And I've always done that a lot. I've always second guessed. I said, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And, I always talk myself out of it. You read jobs, you want to apply for a job, and then you look at the job and it says all this negative stuff. And you're like, well, that's why they're hiring. And then a lot of jobs say they're hiring, but they're not. It's surreal, man. But that's how I got my permit, studying for all that stuff. And now I'm going to try to get registered for a class, because the other one, 330, ain't no telling when I'll get in that one. They might be out of money for the budget by then, with the way things are going. So if I can get my CDL, maybe somebody give me a job, and hopefully I can get something local. Not counting on it, but if I can, that'd be better. I'd rather be local than, even though I don't make that much, I don't need much, but I don't want to be gone from my little wife too much. Now if something happened, it might be therapeutic. Just wanted to share that. Hope y'all doing good. This hazmat's only got 67 questions on this exam. So, once I get done, and then I try to take it all at once, if I'm able, then we'll see what happens. But I got a little weekend job I really love. I've been there since Father's Day of 2022. And we got to work overtime this week. And I was going to work the bar, but they said, if you want to take off, this will be the time to take off. As they're doing like a maintenance project. But I really like the job. It's easy, and they work with my limitations. So if I can work something like, during the week, not even full time, just benefits, I don't need a lot, but with inflation, you need as much as you can get. But if I want to stack money, I might need some money, because without money, you just sit around and can't do nothing. You can think about things. And my wife wants to go to the mountains now instead of a cruise. So, what do you do? But yeah, I just want to share that. Kind of excited. I wanted to show how I passed the test. Now they got, in South Carolina, they probably got in other states too, but the school, they had some free information, and there's all kind of free sources. But a lot of the questions that the school had, I don't even know if are on the test. I went through the questions and I made my own study sheet. See, like a diamond shape, yellow, push, pull, control knob, activate, switch, brake, parking brake. And then I wrote the answers. And I read this about 6-7 times. And it was on the school, but there was a good app called CDL Prep. And it looks like a steering wheel. So it's pretty cool. And, I wrote all these questions down. Air brakes, that was from the app. And then combinations, and then the app. And then general knowledge. There's only 50 from the school information they had, is like a study guide. And then they had 240, and it covers a lot. But I took the test. I didn't actually see a lot of the 2 or 3 questions I didn't have, but most of them were on the test. And then I've started studying for hazmat, and I've got 27 of these questions wrote down on my Excel spreadsheet, starting to study them. And then I'm like, I'll take the test, but it's not really a test, but you do it at your own pace. You got practice and exam. I don't know if it's the same. I never made it to the exam on CDL Prep. It's free, but sometimes there's a lot of pop-ups with advertisements and commercials. But when you're doing the exam, I did just the practice. I never went through and did the exam and seen if there was new questions or different questions. Because one question that got me, kind of a silly question, but some of you kind of think about the hazmat question. It's talking about, if you have hazardous materials, what are 3 things you do? One of them was you pump the gas. At the gas pump, you had to pump it in, so you can't just let the gas run and walk off from it. I don't know why static electricity. I'm just trying to learn the answers. I'll learn what it means later, but just something like that. So I put that and I got it right. But some of them I get wrong, And it also has a thing on CDL prep. You can go why, and it kind of explains it. Sometimes it just reinstates the question and answer, but sometimes it kind of gives you why, or there's a regulation and it goes to some manual. But me, it's better to study the questions, and I get more out of that than trying to read the manual and highlight everything. And, just works for my brain. If I have the meat, I don't get confused on the salt, the vegetables, and the milk. I need the meat. But that's so cool, studying. But the question that was really different, and it's kind of common sense, you're driving a truck or a tractor, you want to be safe and pay attention to what you're doing. And the question was, how do you stay focused while you're driving? I forget what the third answer was, but one of them was you read the maps and constantly look at the maps on your trip. Or you preload your CDs and you have all your music already loaded, because they want both hands on the wheel. That was a correct answer. And I was like, oh man, it's safety. That was under general knowledge. So that was on the test, and it wasn't in the study guide that I remember, because I missed a few, but I still made enough to pass. That's all that matters, right? You pass and learn, and then real world experience is a whole lot different than taking these little tests. So we'll see how to do with that. But your mirrors on the side, you got to make sure you see the whole vehicle. So I'm excited. Good luck to all you future truck drivers. Good luck to all you guys been driving for years. I remember a guy drove a long time ago. I seen him at my brother-in-law, I believe, his memorial, and he had some bad things happen to him where he started come down with epilepsy for some reason, like 10 years ago. I ain't seen him in like 20 years, and just busy, working overtime, raising family. But also, I didn't want to be gone too much because my wife's real sick. Like this morning, I went to work and she was on the bed sitting up with a pillow holding her chest where she's having a hard time breathing. And they're supposed to be doing a surgery to help her heart, but she's not going to get any better. So, I don't know. But if I got my CDL, it might be therapeutic to go driving if something happened, because being here in this house and seeing all this stuff. But I really don't want to leave her right now. And then my little grandbabies, and they so cute. And I think I'll put that on here too. Look at that. You playing the video game? And the kids want to run back and forth? You can put your cord from your Xbox. It's anti-kid terror for the video games. Isn't that cool? All the way to the remote. Oh. Maybe. But I didn't get it. It was so cute, but he was in just a little diaper, so you can't really video it. But he's only 1 year old, and I held his hand, and I was holding both hands at first and getting him to walk, because he'd rather crawl. And he can stand up, but he's too scared to let go. It's like, but he walks like, like boom, boom, but he don't walk like this yet. So he can't figure out how to walk. But his legs are kind of big. Me and him kind of relate, except I'm old. But anyway, I got to where I was holding one hand, and he was like, holding that one hand while he was walking. And they've been doing that to him too. So naturally, we wanted to get him to walk. And he's only like 1 year old, so, he's crawled a lot. He looks like a little Army battalion, so he can crawl to a T. But yeah, I just want to share that. I know it's not in CDL prep, but I get to rambling on sometimes. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and good luck. And don't forget to subscribe if you hadn't already. And if you have, thank you. You never know where we're going to go with this thing, whether we're going to be driving a truck or anything else. And I put in for 204 jobs, and a lot of them wouldn't hire me. So I'm going to try something else that they'll hire me for, hopefully. So you need truck drivers, at least safe ones, and I think I can do a good job. I had to slow down a little bit. I go a little bit. I don't really go fast. I'm slower than I used to be, but I got to be slower. I pass 18-wheelers, so I must be going a little bit faster than they supposed to. So I'll have to slow down a little bit where they are when I get to driving. Not too much more, just a little bit more. Y'all take it easy.